Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Please help me welcome to the cage, representing Revive MMA, Antonio Hernandez.
Antonio Hernandez set to make the walk for the first time as a professional. You mentioned his 6-fight amateur run has prepared him for this moment. And we've talked a lot about pressure, Steve, and I think there's always pressure in a fight, but not often you make the walk for the first time as a pro in the main event spotlight.
Against a fan favorite undefeated fighter at that. So he's got his hands full for sure this evening.
And of course, we've had the theme all night long, Texas versus Louisiana. No different in our main events, and the man that hails from the Lone Star State is making the walk. Antonio Hernandez, how do you say it again?
Vidor, Texas is what we're going with.
Vidor. It's the Lone Star State. That's all I know for certain. And I know Antonio Hernandez hopes to put it on for his home state tonight. And
you talk about nerves, but I'm not seeing them, TJ. This young man looks like he is enjoying the moment and soaking it in his pro debut.
Yeah, I mean, he's singing and dancing. I don't want to do either of those two things in front of people, let alone fight. He's living it up. You mentioned he's got submission and striking skills. Those were both on display as an amateur. We'll see what he can do as a pro. I can't credit Ragin FC enough for the different levels of MMA that we've seen here tonight, whether it be in the amateur ranks or the pro ranks. Safe to say that if you do spend any time here in your career coming up as an amateur, you're more than prepared when you get to the pro ranks.
And I've been singing the song all night about the matchmaking. The matchmaking has really been good. And I know we've had a few early finishes, but nothing felt to me like an obvious mismatch when the two fighters entered the cage. And most of the fights, even the ones that had the finishes, were very even up until the point that the finish happened. And you see lopsided matchups a lot more often on the regional scene. And credit to Ragin, the matchmakers have done a great job in putting together an entertaining card that pairs two people who are on the same level with each other.
Yeah, a lot of times you see the red corner basically be the corner of favorites and the underdogs and maybe sacrificial lambs sometimes fight out of the blue corner, and that's just not the case tonight. You mentioned every single stoppage we've seen here at Ragin FC 6 has been earned.
Absolutely.
Antonio Hernandez ready to enter the cage for the first time as a professional. He does so as one half of our main event of the evening. Time for his opponent to make the walk. We go back to Colin Cantrell.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent makes his way to the cage, representing Head Kicks MMA, Vance Shaw.
Well, it's no secret who the crowd inside the Lake Charles Event Center is backing tonight. That is the Lafayette, Louisiana native in Vance Shaw.
Definitely the hometown favorite. This young man, I saw him when he walked into the stadium almost, 9 hours ago now, and he's had that same stare since the moment he walked in. He's looked like he's been locked and ready to go since he got the call for this fight probably a couple of months ago.
3-0 with 3 submission victories. We'll see if he leans on that ground game here tonight. You talk about setting a statement. When you're undefeated, fighting in the main event, you definitely earned that spot. But when you can put away guys the way that Vance Shaw has, I mean, people expect to see a show when they come to see you fight.
No question about it. You almost have that pressure on yourself. Like, this guy, you got to come see him fight. Come on, I know MMA, you've never heard of it before, but this guy finishes everybody, and you drag your friend out. So, you know, the guys that get a lot of finishes are kind of almost expected to get one.
I think everybody knows what MMA is at this point. And if not, sit them down in front of the Clear Life app and show them this event. This has been one of the best events I've been a part of in a minute, and it really goes back to that matchmaking, and we'll see if the main event can live up to it as well. Vance Shaw ready to go underneath the main event spotlight. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this bantamweight bout. 5 5-minute rounds scheduled at 135 pounds. 29 years old is a professional debutant in Antonio Hernandez, 3 years the elder of the undefeated Vance Shaw. Shaw stands 1 inch taller, both on point at weigh-ins, and Shaw will have a 7 1/2 inch reach advantage. For our main event particulars, we go back inside the cage to Mr. Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event is being brought to us by 100% Chiropractic Lake Charles, keeping our athletes performing at their best. Please welcome the official chiropractic partner of Ragin Fighting Championships and 100% Chiropractic Lake Charles. Thank you, Dr. Williams and team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Lake Charles, Louisiana, are you ready? It's time for the big one! Ladies and gentlemen, 3 rounds of 5 minutes each in the Ragin FC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, on my right, fighting out of the Benoit Chevrolet blue corner. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing at 135 1/2 pounds. Making his MMA debut this evening, fighting out of Vidor, Texas, by way of Beaumont, Texas, Antonio the Guardian Hernandez. And across the cage on my left, fighting out of the Cajun AC red corner. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing at 135 pounds. His record, perfect. 3 wins, no losses. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Head Kicks MMA and fighting out of Lafayette, Louisiana, Vance the Dog Shaw. Referee to give final instructions, Bam Bam Basil Majou.
All right, gentlemen, main event, you've already received your instructions. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, let's go to work.
Basil Majou getting this main event assignment, 5 5-minute rounds scheduled in the Bantamweight division. Antonio Hernandez in the pink, Vance Shaw in the white. TJ DeSantis along with Stephen Barnhill. Appreciate you joining us as we're live in Lake Charles, Louisiana, the site of Ragin FC6.
So far, Vance Shaw kind of stalking down Hernandez. No strikes thrown yet, but he's doing a good job of commanding that cage control.
And on a takedown here early is Shaw. Good posture and a good base to him is Hernandez. Oh, elevated takedown. Firing up this Lake Charles crowd.
Beautiful dump there for Vance Shaw. And you got to imagine 3 professional wins, all by submission. As you mentioned on the tail of the tape, TJ, this young man has his opponent, who's the newcomer Hernandez, here exactly where he wants him at this point in time.
A lot of time to work here as we're just a minute into this main event.
Vance opening up with some nice strikes over the top here to try to get some movement out of Hernandez so he can advance the position, and he's working towards the back right now beautifully.
And that's dangerous territory.
Unbelievable transitions for this young man.
100% submission rate on the record of Vance Shaw, and he's hunting another one here early.
Working a face crank there, it looked like.
A wise man once told me that anything underneath the nose is the neck, and you might as well give it a squeeze.
And Vance Shaw squeezing for sure. He's got the body triangle right now. And he's got a lot of time to work, TJ. Over 3 minutes with the full back control.
When we talk about exertion, the guys get sweaty as the fight goes on, but relatively dry here, and Shaw can really utilize his body triangle to get Hernandez stuck.
Yeah, this is best case scenario for Shaw and worst case scenario for Hernandez. Early in the fight when they're still sticky, no sweat. Nobody's arms are tired. But so far, Hernandez has done a good job peeling the hands off. He's defending well, 2-on-1 there. Trying to turn, but that body triangle is pretty brutal.
Yeah, he's stuck there. No rotation to be had. As you mentioned, he's doing a good job at not eating a lot of punishment, but another 2.5 minutes with Shaw on your back is a pretty tough challenge for anybody, let alone a professional newcomer.
Yeah, still working that 2-on-1 is Hernandez. Shaw trying to slip that left hand underneath the chin, but so far Antonio Hernandez doing a good job to keep that head turned, the chin tucked a little bit, and then hand fighting.
3 minutes of elapsed time. Again, scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, Antonio's killed a minute here, having his back taken, and as we say, all rounds start on the feet. You got to think he's just trying to get through this round. It's going to be difficult, though.
Trying to squeeze his way through the face. Now just 90 seconds remain in the opening round.
That arm is sliding in there, TJ, little by little.
Hernandez has been able to defend that choke, but now it's getting in real deep.
That's a deep. He's still fighting the hands.
Yeah, he tried to go with that figure 4 grip. Might be better served to go palm to palm, but he's lost the choke for the time being.
Good discipline there for Hernandez. That was very close to being a locked in and completed choke, and he just stuck with it, kept defending, and was able to get out of it, at least for the time being.
We'll see if Shaw elects to maybe hunt for some ground and pound damage. He's been submission minded, at least thus far. Let's go with that body triangle. Wow, nicely done by Hernandez to get back up. Oh, he eats a nice combination of punches by Shaw.
These guys are throwing now.
Both men fired up as Shaw drops Hernandez.
Goodness gracious, what action we have so far. Knee for Shaw. Hernandez landed some shots of his own. This is just an all-out scrap on the feet, TJ.
It is Rock'em Sock'em
Big
Robots
two
here
for
in the main
Antonio
event.
Hernandez here.
Final 10 seconds of the opening round. You want to fight your way back into the fight? Hernandez has done just that.
What a conclusion to that first round.
Hernandez had his back against the wall. Literally had his back taken, almost had his neck taken as well, but ultimately able to get back upright, and he landed some shots that definitely counted, but Shaw, he nearly finished the fight on the feet as well.
I got to tell you, TJ, I love technical proficiency as much as the next guy, but sometimes a good old-fashioned slobber knocker like we saw at the end of that round is the most exciting thing that you can see inside of a cage. Antonio Hernandez did an incredible job staying disciplined, getting back to his feet. That choke was all but done, and he defended well and gave himself the opportunity to get himself back in the fight, and he did just that. Now, he lost the first round, pretty handedly, but this next round is going to start on the feet, and that seems to be exactly where he wants to be.
Round 2 on deck. See if he can live up to that opening frame between these two gentlemen. I think we're finding out exactly why this is our main event.
Absolutely, and this is where you're going to see what a young man who's undefeated like Vance Shaw is made of, where you have an opponent who just doesn't go away that easily, and they're right in your face. This is where you have to dig deep.
Try to dig in deep for a takedown, but Hernandez is able to stay upright.
The pair just trading some straight shots. Ooh. Beautiful check hook there by Vance Shaw. Don't let the submissions fool you. This kid can strike as well. But so can Antonio Hernandez, and he's thrown some of his own.
Hernandez went to the body there with that left hand.
Ooh, big head kick for Antonio Hernandez. The first strike where I've really seen it back Vance Shaw up of the night. Nice sprawl there for Hernandez, and another big head kick.
Hernandez playing his part in this fight.
Dare I say that the momentum may even be shifting a little bit here, TJ.
The right hand finds a home as well for Hernandez.
Beautiful straight there for Hernandez, followed by a hook.
Yeah, Hernandez's striking has stolen a bit of the initiative in this fight.
Yeah, Vance needs to put something in his face or Antonio's going to keep coming. Beautiful level change there, but the sprawl, Hernandez seems to have figured out the timing of those takedowns, and he's able to defend them well.
Nice elbows to the body here by Hernandez. Now in the front headlock. If you're Hernandez, Steven, do you just bail and get back upright and try to reduce the risk of losing a scramble?
I do. I think he's having a lot of success on the feet. I think he's hurting Vance on the feet, and I don't see any reason for him to roll the dice with the submission or the grappling. He's doing well on the feet. I'd take it right back there.
We see Shaw on the back foot here. See if he explodes forward with another takedown attempt.
He's landing that too very successfully, is Antonio Hernandez. Head kick of his own for Vance Shaw there. Fantastic fight so far.
Single leg here for Shaw, able to secure it.
Shaw is just a tenacious grappler, man. He's been cracked with some shots in this round, and he's still able to find his takedown.
He's still got time to make this takedown work as we're just past the halfway point of round number 2.
Vance looking for somewhat of a darce there. It's hard to see what the hand positioning looks like from that camera angle.
He'll settle for the back as he's got the left hook in. No one has been able to survive the submission offense of Vance Shaw yet in his pro career. And now sitting back for a guillotine.
Arm-in guillotine here for Vance Shaw. Let's see if he can get that shoulder tight. Hernandez looked like he was trying to pop his head out. It looks like it's getting a little bit.
Trying to front flip out of it.
Rolling out of it. Good transition there for Vance.
You saw the desperation there by Hernandez. He was caught deep and able to find his way out.
I mean, not in a great position. He's on the bottom part of half guard there, but he's not being choked anymore.
Correct.
And that's a win.
Yeah, found his way out of the choke.
Stay on top!
And what a response here by Shaw, who was having a tough time in the earlier part of this round. He's stolen the momentum back.
Yeah, very much so. This has been a very back and forth round. It will be interesting to see how they score this round, because there was some real moments where Antonio Hernandez had Vance Shaw hurt, but obviously Vance now commanding the fight exactly where he likes it to take place.
We were talking about it earlier. More often than not in competitive fights, judges seem to reward the fighter that had the more advantageous position later in the round. I'm not saying that's the case here, but Shaw trying to punctuate that point.
You know, judges are humans, and they can only remember what they last saw, you know, so putting that exclamation point on the round definitely can't hurt you.
30 seconds left. Hernandez giving his back up once again. Now trying to hunt for the neck once again is Shaw.
He is just a tenacious submission hunter, this young man, Vance Shaw.
Closing 10 seconds.
And very good defense. I think we can't let this round pass without saying something again about the defense of Antonio Hernandez. He's got excellent submission defense.
Shaw able to close out the round with some punches. What a back and forth round that was. What a main event.
Yeah, this main event is living up to the hype. I almost wish we were going to go 5 rounds here, TJ.
What a night it's been here in Lake Charles. TJ DeSantis along with Stephen Barnhill. Ragin FC6. It's been raging all night long, and main events not disappointing. Let's take a look at some of the action. Walk us through.
Yeah, you know, Antonio Hernandez came out swinging in this round. He knew that he had somewhat of an advantage on the feet. He was able to command the center, landed some big kicks to the head, and some really good, clean, straight shots. And a few of them actually hurt Vance Shaw, but to the undefeated prospect's credit, he was able to weather the storm and then do what he does best, which is take the fight to the ground and work subs. Both these guys look fresh as a daisy after 10 minutes of fighting, TJ. And I know those young ladies had a well-deserved fight of the night plaque that they went home with, but you got to think these two young men should be going home with one as well.
Third round underway. What will we see next? It's been a night of surprises, a night of action.
The biggest thing for Antonio Hernandez here is to not overcommit on some of his shots and step in, because Vance times those level change takedowns well, and he seems to really control the round once he gets it to the ground. I think Antonio Hernandez needs to stay at range and work those long strikes. That's where he's having his best success. Don't overcommit.
Yeah, it's a fine line of what they call sitting down on your strikes. You don't want to do so. That doesn't allow you to sprawl. Shaw has a great shot. We've seen that. But he, too, has to respect the power that's coming back his way from Antonio Hernandez,
who's got a pretty good sprawl in his own right. He's just up against a phenomenal grappler. Nice 1-2 on the part of Antonio Hernandez there. But again, Vance Shaw with a beautifully timed takedown.
And Shaw does an excellent job when he does get the takedown. He doesn't just sit in the guard. He's looking to advance, looking to punish, looking to take the back, and he's got the left hook in.
Yeah, he's relentless. And a lot of people, you know, TJ,
the truck pointing out that they're fighting right now in the corner of Vance Shaw, and Hernandez was actually talking a little bit to the corner of Shaw.
We love a little talking, but he's got his hands full, though, TJ. He's got his back taken with a body triangle. He needs to focus on the defense here and try to get back to the feet. That's his best chance and probably only chance at this point to win this fight.
Yeah, he knows he's in a dangerous, precarious position with that body triangle wrapped up.
You know, they talk about grapplers a lot, TJ, and guys that or fans, rather, that don't necessarily love the style on the ground. But when you watch a fighter like Vance Shaw, you can't help but love it. Now, there are certain fighters that will take it to the ground and stall, but this young man has been looking for better positions and submissions the entirety of this fight.
I mean, if you don't like ground fighting, I don't think you like mixed martial arts, which is weird because kickboxing is not all that popular of a sport in this country. Touch over 2 minutes remain here in the third round. Hernandez trying to make some space, trying to get some rotation, but Shaw goes along for the ride. With that body triangle, it's real hard to get free. Now stacking up to his feet is Hernandez. We've already seen one standing rear naked choke tonight.
Yeah, good tenacity by Shaw there. He's got that hook with his right leg, keeping himself from going over the top. But Hernandez did walk Shaw over to his corner.
I was just going to say that. Went from one corner to the other corner. Now he can listen to his cornerman. But it's quite a challenge to get Vance Shaw off of your back.
Yeah, and you'd think Vance Shaw could just ride out the fight right here. Hernandez really needs to get some urgency to get him off of his back and try to land that big power shot.
Inside the final minute of the third.
Looks like Vance was trying to work a little bit of a rear naked choke setup there again, but Antonio Hernandez has had really good hand discipline this entire fight. Oh, big slam there for Hernandez. Almost a sacrifice slam to see if he can make something happen in the last minute here.
You never know what might induce a scramble. Shaw, though, goes for the ride and maintains that back control. 30 seconds left. Reminds me of Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, Hernandez is doing the right thing. He's trying to shuck Shaw off, but he's got such good positioning with the feet and the legs that it's very difficult. And it looks like this fight may, spoke too soon.
Tried to Another Hail Mary sort of slam position, closing moments. Three rounds in the books. What a fight in the main event.
Jinx.
And it was a case of both guys doing what they wanted to do well, but ultimately you saw Shaw with just bigger moments.
Yeah, well, just the more time doing what he does,
Yep.
right? The back control, the submission hunting. And while the moments on the feet certainly favored Antonio Hernandez, with a couple exceptions, right? Vance Shaw is no slouch when it comes to striking. He landed a few big shots of his own, but you could certainly see which fighter wanted the fight, where. And, unfortunately for Mr. Hernandez in his pro debut, I think there was a little bit too much control time, too many submissions that were being hunted, advancement of position for him to get his hand raised. But we'll see what happens here.
And I mean, that's a loss if it is that for Antonio Hernandez that you can take pride in. It was a heck of a performance. I mean, he nearly had Vance out a couple of times. And I mean, look, he's the first guy to not be submitted.
Yeah, Antonio, win, lose, or draw here tonight, Antonio Hernandez has a bright future as a professional fighter. He did not come over to the pro ranks too soon, I can tell you that for sure.
And also, too, I mean, think about where he had to do it. Hostile territory, to say the least.
Did it well, with a smile on his face, too.
Definitely fans made here tonight for Antonio Hernandez. And Vance Shaw, I mean, he showed out in a big way in front of friends and family here inside the Lake Charles Event Center. What a great fight, and a great way to cap off one of the best fight cards you're going to find in the great sport of mixed martial arts.
We've called 18 tonight. I don't think we had a boring one, TJ.
No, I
What
don't
a
think
night.
so. We've had things I've never seen before.
Yeah,
6 foot tall flyweights.
and 5'9" light heavyweights. I almost want those two to take a picture together.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to-
It looks
just to
like an
have
old
it.
pride fight. Make them stare down. All right. For one final time tonight, let's get our decision. We go to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for these two fighters. 3 hard-fought rounds of action. We go to the judges' scorecards. Judges score the fight 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28. All three for your winner by unanimous decision, Vance the Dog Shaw!
And still undefeated, Vance Shaw gets it done. A game opponent in Antonio Hernandez. What a way to close out the night here in Lake Charles.
All right, Vance. So, night started off, you were doing pretty good first round, right?
Yeah, first round went good.
Second round, he started punching you in the face.
I got punched in the face.
He punched you in the face a few times.
I ain't feel it. I mean, my adrenaline was going so much, it felt like we was just thudding on each other. He's a tough guy. I'm super disappointed in myself. I should have got the finish. I work to finish. I don't work to win on scorecards. So I'm disappointed in myself. I'm not happy with that performance. I'm going to come back and with a vengeance and finish somebody.
You are 4-0, though. You realize that, right? You're undefeated. It's a great fight. You almost finishing the first round. You were very close, dug deep. Second round, got punched in the face. Third round, you dominated again, ground game. You were all over his back. He couldn't get you off. You look great tonight. What's next for you, brother?
Next, I heal up, eat some freaking rice and gravy.
Like Cajun, like dirty rice?
Yeah, bro, some rice and gravy, shout out my dad, my mom, my girlfriend. My Paran made this fight. I'm so happy that he's here. It was great. I'm disappointed. I know I have a good chin. I know I could take punches. I'm not proud of that performance that I just gave. Next time, somebody getting finished. You heard me?
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Vance the Don Shaw!
Now 4-0, Vance Shaw getting it done. He remains undefeated. as he shines here in the main event spotlight cap.